And all right, happy snowy Monday from New England. Lee, this is going to be new for you because I know in Atlanta, okay, if there's even a quarter an inch of snow, the whole
I
city shuts
know.
down.
I
Okay,
know. I
we're we
know.
are we are limping our ways out of this snowstorm here in Boston. We've got 2 feet of snow, whatever they're saying, more on the way. But that's what we live in New England for, just to suffer in the winter. Uh, Happy campaign kickoff, everybody! We're excited to have you right now. This is going to be a fun session because Lee, we're going to talk a little bit about our normal. Let's talk about this week's plan, cover the details of it. But also, as some of you have probably seen and some of you have probably heard, we have begun to sort of make this transition into building some incredible technology for you that we're excited to break down for you a little bit later on. And I'll talk a little bit more about the future of listing leads going into Q1 and obviously into Q2. So on that note, Lee, why don't you give a quick lay of the land for some housekeeping items and I'll get ready to share my screen.
Yeah, absolutely. So, campaign kickoff, we come together every week to rock out your marketing plan. We go through the listing leads attraction plan, help you execute it, talk about the strategy behind it. And we're here to get you starting your week off right. So, Jimmy, let's dig in and show people how they can ship some content and make some stuff happen.
That's it. Okay, so new to listing leads, this is going to be your home base, listingleads.com. When you log in, it's going to be /plan. Now you're in the app itself. Every week we break down, this is for my newbies, every week we break down exactly what we want you to do this particular week. And the way that we think about this is sort of three things are true when it comes to having an effective marketing plan. Three things are always present when a marketing plan is firing at all cylinders. And that is number one, you're doing something, some activity to engage the people you already know. Number two is you're converting the engaged people into appointments. This is doing some activity to get the people who are showing and raising their hand to say, hey, yes, I'd like to talk more about what I'm trying to plan for this quarter this year. And then finally, number three, an effective marketing plan has to have a plan to help you grow, meaning that you are engaging your database, you are converting your database, and then you are adding new people into your database. Now, I use the term database to broadly describe people kind of who are in your orbit. Your database is, of course, the people in your CRM. It's also the contacts you have in your phone. It's also the people who follow you on social media and see your post in their feed. So, like the concept of database is more broadly speaking to people. It's your contacts, it's your CRM, it's your followers, people who are engaged with you. So, this week we kick off like every week as part of Deal of the Week is a Deal of the Week plan. And we always try to do something a little bit different for you for Deal of the Week. What you're looking at right now is an example of a viral post that we have. And I'll pull up an example so you can see this. We design all of these campaigns. And this is what we refer to as our swipe and share. It's find a good deal in your area, something that is let's say on the market just in the last 7 days, something that's getting a lot of attention on social media or on Zillow. And let's make sure that we're doing an Instagram story to get some inbound engagement and then ultimately some leads. Notably, with Deal of the Week, we're never including the address. We're never including a link over to the home. We're never including photos of the property. We're just simply saying, hey, I think this is the very best deal. If you want to get more information on this, click yes below. Now, we do the Deal of the Week social media post, and then we also do the Deal of the Week email campaign. And so what you're looking at right now is a variation of that. This is an example where we have and you, by the way, this is perfect for using the use of AI as an example, but 6 reasons why this listing is blowing up online. We try to create a subject line that's interesting. We don't want to necessarily always have deal of the week, deal of the week, deal of the week, deal of the week. We're trying to have some variation in that campaign. So in this particular instance, we're basically saying here are 6 reasons why this house is actually getting a lot of attention. If you know someone who might be interested, reply to this email and I'll share more details. Now, Lee, my vision for everyone here is the deal of the week is like, for those of you right now on today's call, let me know, like, have you been consistent with deal of the week? Yes or no in the chat. Have you been consistent with the deal of the week? Because if the answer is no, which by the way, no judgment here. The answer is no. This is an opportunity for me to kind of share a little bit of a lesson with you. And by the way, for those of you the Shelly who's been engaging, Angela's been consistent. Like, let us know the results too as you've been more consistent with it. This is an important lesson. I'm gonna slow down for a second. This is an important lesson, which is the one thing I've learned about building businesses, and the one thing that I learned about driving results, like, because I'm a very growth minded leader, I focus really on like how do we put not just revenue is great, but how do we get better? One thing I've learned, it's a really important lesson for all of us, is fall in love with the boring stuff. And when you've done deal of the week for like the sixth time, you're like, man, this is like, all right, I'll do it again. All right,
It's
I'll do
not
it again.
working. It's here the thing. It's like farming, right, Jimmy? It's like I sent a postcard. It didn't work.
I mean, it's exactly right, Lee. And it's like, it's fall in love with the boring stuff. Be so surgical and so clinical with the boring stuff. Like when we do webinars, like we'll do a webinar every month, usually a content webinar that has, some type of sales pitch as an example. And we go through a checklist, Lee, of like 20 things that we do to get to that webinar. And so if you've ever been on a webinar with me, with Tom Ferry, with Chris Smith, what you'll notice is we've got 1,000, 2,000, sometimes 5,000 people that show up to that webinar. We aren't just sending an email. We're going through a sort of rigorous process every time, 3 to 4 campaigns every day for 2 weeks prior to the camp. And it's like, it's not the most exciting work, but you know what is exciting is having
The
3,000 people,
results.
3,000 people show up on a call, right?
Yeah.
And that's really the deal of the week. The deal of the week is like, hey, just keep at it. You're gonna if you can look out 30 weeks, 40 weeks. Like if I'm doing this every single week, I think I just saw Marine's got one response and two on social media, and she just started 2 weeks ago. Now, Marine, imagine what happens to your business as you're growing your database. You start doing this every week without fail. Now, all of a sudden, you end up getting 70 to 100 new conversations over the course of a year, which translates into 10 additional deals. Like that's the type of momentum that you can build on deal of the week. All right. So deal of the week is every Monday. Social media, throw it in there in an email campaign. This week we have an email of the week, which is really around building and kind of educating the consumer about demand. So this is the type of home that will always be in demand, regardless of market conditions. Now, what we're trying to do with a campaign like this is we're trying to help people understand that the winds of the market can blow north and south, east and west, but giving them some confidence that, real estate is a good long-term investment. And so we give them some, and this is something we always do, Lee. This is a technique that we always use, which is we always look for a trigger, and a trigger can be a stat or a story. And I would write this down when it comes to sort of getting your marketing dialing here, which is stat or story. A stat is something happened this past week that I can share and build a campaign around. So Google searches went up for homes for sale by 10%, which is the highest level in 4 months. I think a lot of this is largely on the fact that we're entering the beginning of the spring season, even though we got 2 feet of snow here in Boston. We're entering into the sort of beginning of people starting to think about what they're looking to do later this year. But also, we're in a favorable interest rate environment relative to last year. When buyers start looking again, there's one type of home they always see as a good investment: a well-built home in a high demand area. Why? 2 words: resale demand. A simple floor plan, they can adapt the space. It doesn't feel like a project from day one. Buyers want flexibility. They want a price point that feels attainable. When a home checks those boxes, it attracts the widest pool of buyers. So this is a very simple, very clear, value-based email. Now, nothing about this email is groundbreaking, but we're using the fact that there is an uptick in home searches to educate the consumer. And this is
Jimmy, where's
another.
your
Go ahead,
where's your logo in that and the fancy signature?
Lee. It's crazy, Lee, because I think this is one thing that we want to really help condition you on, which is we don't. I had a guy. I hope he doesn't think I'm speaking anti him. I won't give his name, but this gentleman reached out to Tom Ferry and myself. He's like, "Hey, listen, I'm really struggling with email marketing. I haven't been getting results." Now, to his credit, he was open to hearing new ideas, and I actually genuinely really appreciate that. He gave me access to his email tool. I logged in, and I noticed he went 6 months of emailing, and then he stopped for about 5 months. and then he kind of picked it back up again. So red flag number one was consistency. Red flag number two is when I clicked into his emails late, and this is such counterintuitive advice, but I want everyone to pay attention to this. If a consumer gets a newsletter where if you don't have an established brand, because that does play a factor. I mean, brands can send newsletters, but if you don't have an established brand in the mind of the consumer, if they see a big logo banner with your face and your logo, and they see a big chunky signature with 6 different kind of like calls to actions, 6 different links, not only is Google and Microsoft penalizing you for those types of emails, they're immediately going to sort of relegate you to the promotional tab, if not spam. But also, it puts the consumer in a position where they know instantly. You just told me this is a marketing email. You just told me this is a sales email. So I don't have to read anything. I already just instinctively know this is a marketing email. So
And you told Google and Yahoo and all the other people as well.
everyone. So this idea is like we want to have this very simple, plain text sales. Like I just sent you an email approach to email marketing. It's going to. I love design. We spend a lot of time designing products and websites and marketing. I love
Right.
design.
We didn't forget.
We didn't forget design. It pains me to say like this actually works better. This higher open rate, higher reply rate, higher click through rate. So you can't argue with the facts. That's why I'm not a huge fan of the newsletter strategy, unless you have an established brand. Which again, there is a place for it, but not in the email of the week. All right, so we talked about the deal of the week on Monday. Talked about the email of the week on Tuesday. Wednesday, market cheat sheet. This is what I like to call like get a lead before you do the work. So in this case here, say, hey Lee, I tried my best to keep my clients informed on what's happening in the market. So I thought you'd appreciate this text. This is what we call kind of building your likability with your message. I put together a simple market cheat sheet with my top 10 learnings from the last 24 months. Would it be helpful if I sent it over to you? Now, what I'm doing with a campaign like this is all I'm doing is before I do all the work involved in this, which I'll talk about here in a second, how to really hack that. What I'm doing is I'm actually just like getting people to raise their hand saying, yes, I'm interested. And so who am I sending this to? If I sent the email of the week, I sent the deal of the week, I'm going to get a bunch of people who open up and engage with my content. Well, what I'm going to do next is I'm now going to text the people who opened up those 2 emails. So if I send to 1,000 people and I got 100 people to open up those emails, that is going to be my sales list, my power hour list of the week. And this is and for those of you who have been on a campaign kickoff call, you know this already, but I'm going to repeat this because it's super important. We email on Monday, we email on Tuesday, so we can follow up on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to fill our calendar for Saturday and Sunday. Exactly. It's an email lead conversion funnel. And so this campaign is really designed to be a way to sort of just in a very lightweight way, provide some value, engage in a conversation, and again, start getting in motion where you're talking to more people. Now, I'll give you a quick pro tip. I was doing this with Scott Stedman over the weekend, actually, last week. Scott sent me over, and I'll pull this up so you guys can see. This is mind-blowing. This is so good. I'm just like, I can't get enough of this, Lee. We were looking at Scott's market. And if you know me, you know that like I have an unhealthy relationship with Claude right now. I mean, I'm using Claude for everything imaginable. So
I was about to change my number, Jimmy.
yeah, I mean, it's becoming a problem. So here's what I would do. I asked Scott to provide me with some market data going back since 2024. Now, I believe this is his transactions, not the entire market. And what I did is I asked Prompt Cowboy. You guys know I love Prompt Cowboy. I asked Prompt Cowboy. I said, I need you to put together, and I'll drop this by the way in the mastermind group afterwards. If you want to make a note of this, I'll drop my exact prompt.
Yeah.
I said, I basically want you to uncover the most interesting statistics about my market that are worth sharing. So I took it. I went to Claude. Scott provided me with an export from his MLS. So Scott went to his MLS. He exported the data. I fed the data into Claude. I fed the data into the prompt into Claude, and this is what it produced. Days on market is going down. The hot market share has collapsed, meaning properties that are selling within 14 days has dropped from 32% to 16%. It's cut in half. Concessions are now table stakes. Concessions now rate has climbed 51%, an average of 30% update, right, from this past year. Reductions have become the norm. Listings require price reductions surge from 37% to 74%. Nearly 3 out of 4 sellers have had a price cut. So overpricing is an epidemic. Negotiation has flipped to buyers. This talks about basically homes dipping below the sales price. Despite all these things, prices are still rising. The mid-market got crushed on velocity. Talks about basically the mid-market squaring. Luxury has grown. And then it gives some context into this. Lee, this is an extraordinarily good market cheat sheet. Okay?
Crazy.
You guys with me on this? I mean, this is so, in the chat, let me know, on a
It's
scale
magic.
of 1 to 10, like 10 being insanely important, how important to you is hyper local market data? Like, to your marketing, how important is hyper local data? And so one thing that we're very, very like aware of, and like look at Wendy, the most important, Shelly, 10 out of 10, 1,000%. This type of data we're looking at right now, this market cheat sheet, we give you the script. This is a script we want you to use, but I want to push you to personalize it with your own MLS data, exporting your MLS data into a spreadsheet and letting Claude do the work. Let me know in the chat right now. Just put a W like the streamers do, right? Put a W in the chat if it would be helpful if I gave you the prompt that created this cheat sheet. Like, let me know. Like, if you guys, okay, okay.
Casey, I
I
love it.
love.
Duh.
Yeah, okay, Casey. Thank
No,
you,
no,
thank
Jimmy,
you.
we don't want it. Jimmy,
Okay,
do you like dropping things on webinars or?
that's right. Because the reason why I like this, the reason I want to walk you through this flow here is for Wednesday and for Thursday and for Friday. I want you to be in a position where, like, we send out the email of the week, we send out the deal of the week, we get a bunch of people in our database engaged, and then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's power hour time. We take the data from our MLS, we export it, we throw it into Claude, we create this market cheat sheet. It's beautiful, it's awesome. You can do a ton of stuff with this. Then I start texting people. I'm not just going to post this to social media. I'm going to I'm going to use it as a conversation starter.
Right.
Okay.
You give this out 1-to-1. This is the good candy.
Yeah, yeah. So on that note, um, let me know in the chat right now. Let me know in the chat right now if you have any questions on this before we move any further here. Like, is that order of operations really clear? Export the data, use the prompt I'm going to give you, put it into Claude, produce the cheat sheet, and then start texting everybody who has opened up the email on Monday and on Tuesday. Is there, like, just say I'm good if you're good, if that all makes sense. I just want to make sure that workflow is really dialed in so everyone feels really confident that they can execute against that. Awesome. What's up, Rob? Good to see the call. Go ahead, Lee.
Jimmy, I'll drop the link to the Facebook group as well, and I'll follow up with you afterwards to make sure we get it there.
Cool. And I'll make sure that I drop in the link to the Claude artifact. So Grant was asking, what data are you exporting from the MLS? Grant, in this case, I'll share Scott's export as well. But the short version is I'm looking at sales history. Every MLS can be a little different. The beauty of using AI is you can have an entirely different export than Scott, but with a good prompt, we can still extract really good insight. So I'll make sure we share Scott's spreadsheet, but like basically the more data, the better. Good question, Grant. Okay, so coming back to the plan this week, I'll jump back here real quick, which is on Thursday. Now we're into the lead gen part of the week. So lead engagement, lead conversion, lead generation. Here's an example of taking that exact same cheat sheet and putting it into an Instagram poll. You can see here we're creating a very simple like visual design of what you just have there. So you're using the cheat sheet that you built to convert your database. Now you're using your cheat sheet that you built to generate more people for your database. The beauty of this too, Lee, we'll give you the example of this. We'll make a note of it. We have a Canva template, but also I'll give you the nano prompt that you need to be able to generate this through Gemini. So everyone always asks us what AI tools to use. It's going to depend on the use case. So we use Claude for creating like, PDFs and HTML files. We use Perplexity and OpenAI for research and writing. And we use Nano primarily for creating images, thumbnails, social media posts, Instagram stories. So we'll give you the thumbnail, we'll give you the Nano prompt as well for this, so you can be able to
Hey,
create a
Jimmy,
campaign like
Jimmy,
this. Yep.
we still see your text screen.
Oh, there we go. Is
People are there.
that
You go.
better?
Sorry about that. Yeah.
You're good. Okay, cool. So this is the example of the market cheat sheet, which is on Thursday of the plan, taking the marketing cheat sheet you created for this week and then turning it into a lead gen pillar for social media. And then lastly, we've asked this question a couple times now, Lee, but it's really important that we get some feedback on this. How many of you in the chat right now, we have almost 100 people in today's campaign kickoff call, how many of you are looking to get more leads from YouTube? Just put a W in the chat if you are. How many of you are right now looking to get more leads from YouTube? And so one of the things that I believe is that YouTube is one of the best. I'm fully committed to it this year. We're opening up a creative studio here in Boston soon. Like, you're going to see a lot more YouTube content from me, but I am like 1,000% a believer in the YouTube platform. The reason why is that I love social media for lead gen. I love social media for engagement and conversion, but you can build an entire business on the back of YouTube. It could be, it is a tide that lifts all boats in your marketing. So what you're looking at right now is an example of a YouTube video that we created for you. Now, when we create a video for you, we provide a narrative, we provide a show flow, we provide a Canva template, we'll provide the title and information for that. And you'll notice here, Lee, we actually, in the YouTube video, we curate a list of like all of the best YouTube videos in real estate. I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of videos that we have right now, that if you're looking to jumpstart, you can literally just pick any one of these and go. And we take like what we think is like a really good video of that week, and we kind of give you the additional material you need to be able to produce that video. So I would make Friday the day in which you shoot videos. You could take what we give you for that week, which is a viral video, or you could take something from the viral library. But every Friday, if you're taking that video, you're recording your version, 10, 15 minutes long, uploading that using the assets we have now. You're going to start producing a lot of consistent content. Now, the thing that we love about this is the reason why we do this for you is you can post a video to YouTube every day for a year and get like 10 subscribers. What matters with YouTube is the content you produce. So what we're doing at Listing Leads, if you can follow the logic here, we're taking like the tens of thousands of new YouTube videos that are posted by agents every month. We're scrubbing them for the ones that you shouldn't do because they just have no one likes them, no comments, no engagement, no views. We're identifying the top like 50 or 100 that are like actually really good. And then we're specifically looking for outliers. An outlier meaning I've got 100 subscribers on my channel. I shot a video, it got 6,000 views. That's an outlier video. If Ryan Serhant posts a video that had 6,000 views, that means it did terrible. If Jimmy, who has 100 subscribers, posts a video that got 6,000 views, that tells me I should do that for my channel as well.
Right.
Okay.
And Jimmy, we all know those topics are trending. Like, there's a reason they're called trending.
Yeah.
They're relevant at the moment, right? If you make a video
Correct.
about that 4 weeks later, it's maybe less going to get less eyeballs than in the moment.
Yeah, and totally true. And a lot of it is trending. Like, this is what's working right now on YouTube. Which is maybe even less about the topic and more about the style of content, if you will.
For sure.
So on that note, every week with Listing Leads, we put together the marketing plan for you. Every week, it's Monday through Friday. It's about engaging your database. It's about generating leads. It's about growing your database. We will drop in the prompt to create the market cheat sheet, the one you saw from Scott Stedman, and we'll drop in the Nano and Banana prompt to help you create the Instagram story as well. Let me end with this. We've had a lot of questions about better email. one of the things that we want to do at Listing Leads is we realize that if you are to get results, automation is everything. Simplicity is everything. So we built a tool called Better Email, formerly AI Mode, where effectively you can automate the campaigns you have for listing leads. So the email of the week, you can automate that. The deal of the week, you can automate that. Now, a couple really big improvements we've made. Few call outs. First thing is we used to only integrate with Lee. We only used to integrate with Follow Up Boss in a
Yes.
CSV. We now support, and like this is where I'm like my team is popping the champagne right now, team. We now support Bold Trail, Brevity, Sync, Constant Contact, HubSpot, KW Command, Lofty, Real Geek, Sierra, Lion Desk, Wise Agent, and of course, we still support if you want to upload your own CSV file. So listing leads now through Better Email is fully integrated into these 17 CRMs and your CSV file. So number one, email of the week, you can automate that. Deal of the week, you can automate that. And Lee, we now have a new tool called Broadcast. Broadcast is a tool that allows me to send one-off emails or personalize the emails we have within listing leads to my database. So this is an example right here. I'll go ahead and grab how to make this home sell. Like this is an email that we wrote within listing leads. Well, within listing leads, right, you would normally copy and paste that, throw that into MailChimp, throw that into SendGrid or whatever email tool you're using. Now it's just built into Better Email. And so if I click on rewrite this email, I can actually change this email, create a new variation of a listing leads email within Better Email effortlessly. It's click, 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 and you're sending that email. So if you're looking for more automation, if you're looking for more simplicity, if you need help just like executing the ideas that we're giving you at Listing Leads, Lee, do me a favor if you could. Could we drop a link? We're going to do a training on this. Can you drop a link to the Better Email training that we're doing on Wednesday? We'll go over, Lee, setting up your account. We'll go over configuring your automations. We'll go over inviting your or syncing with your team to do team sending. We'll go over using the AI features. We'll cover all of that. So I just wanted, as a quick announcement, Better Email is now officially live. We'll go over a lot more details with you on Wednesday. If you want to get better at email marketing, and actually let me know in the chat, like how many of you have made it your mission, just put a W in the chat, have made it your mission to get more business from your database in 2026? Like, let me know in the chat. Like, you know there's business there. You know you're leaving money on the table, but you've got to figure out a way to get more out of that. Okay, awesome. Everyone who's saying W, everyone who's putting yes, we will see you Wednesday. All right. From snowy Boston, we love you guys. As always, we're here to support you. If you have any questions, let us know on the Facebook Master Group. You can hit up our support team, support@listingleads.com. And I will see you with Lee on Wednesday afternoon. Thanks, everyone.